Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another video. Ace is looking for that chipmunk that was in the woodpile the other day. So, I want to talk about dogs. I rescued Ace a little over 4 years ago when he was 9 months old. He was kind of unsociable, figuring things out, I guess. But he came around after a while. I know how to interact with dogs. I've had dogs all my life. He's a good boy. Previously, I had a shepherd, and I guess she was 8 years, 7 months old, and she developed that hip dysplasia. She couldn't walk anymore. It was a sad thing. But even shepherds have their unique character, ways of acting and reacting. This pit bull, he's smart. Wow, I can't believe how smart he is. So I live up there, back there, wherever. 2 doors down from me, there are 2 dogs. One is a puppy, a year and younger. Next to them are 2 dogs. One is a puppy, year or younger. Next to them is a dog, and next to them is another dog, a puppy, year or younger. My yard isn't fenced in. The one 2 doors down, they have a fence separating the property there, but there's no fence at the back of their property as an enclosure, okay? So what happens is these people, when they let their dogs out, they just open the back door and the dogs run out, and if there's other dogs out, they start carrying on. Now, the carrying on is 2 different types. They're playfully running back and forth all the way to the back of the yard, running back and forth. And other times, and I haven't seen this, but I've heard it. You heard it on a video the other day. The door is opened, the dogs go out, the other dogs are in the yard. And I guess they attack each other at the fence. And it sounds like they're physically attacking each other. All the yiping, carrying, screaming. I noticed 2 of the owners, when they first got their dogs, like in the last year, they walked them at first. Got exercise. One's a golden retriever and one's a German shepherd. You need to exercise those dogs for several reasons. They need exercise, and if they're exercised, they get a little tired and they're not so anxious. Well, now they're not exercising them, and all the activity happens in the backyard. Hiya, boy. So let me switch gears a little bit about how this dog communicates with me and how we interact. In the house, because I never leave him on the deck by himself, never unsupervised, and my yard isn't fenced in. So I'm in the house. Typically this happens when I'm in the kitchen. I hear him barking, and I know it's for a reason. But it's never like a vicious, out of control, crazy, carrying on type situation. He's alerting me that something is happening. So I come out of the kitchen, walk through the middle room, and he's standing at the door, and he's looking at me now because he knows now what's going to happen. As I get closer to him, 5-6 feet away, he backs away from the door to let me go to the door to look outside to see what's going on. And I've never had to tell him anything else but, it's okay, boy, it's okay. Good boy, thank you. It's okay, it's okay. He knows what it's okay means. But just the fact when I'm near to that door, he backs away, right? And lets me walk to the door to survey the situation. He's not dumb. Some days he drinks more water than he does other days. So when he's out of water, he'll sit in front of me and just stare at me. You know, it's great. And then I have to think, okay, is it time to be fed? Are you hungry? What did you eat this morning? And usually he wants his water bowl filled. So in that case, I'm sitting down. I go to get up. He stands there, lets me pass, and then walks behind me into the kitchen. He's a gentleman. He's a gentleman. He likes to sleep with me too. Sometimes that's troubling because you know how dogs are. It could be a 3-foot wide couch or a 10-foot wide bed. They'll manage to take it all. But I want to get back to these dogs unsupervised, or the owners at their house, the dogs they're on the back porch or nearby, and their dog's in the yard 50 yards away, carrying on at the end of the yard. The owner's at the house or in the house. The owner's on the back porch watching, but the dog is 50 yards away at the back of the yard. Now, I've had dogs all my life. I know how to train them. Keyword, interact. Interact. I'm not a great trainer, but I know the basics. So what happens is somebody will walk by their yard. This dog's at the end of the yard, 50 yards away from the master, and they're carrying on. Typically, the response is, come on, Spot, come here. Come on, Spot, come here. The dog's not going to come here. Because, unlike human beings that have intelligence, these dogs are reacting to something, and it's their nature to react a certain way. Their instincts kick in other words. If it were me, and it's not, but if it were me, I would train that dog. Just like when I'm in the kitchen and Ace barks and I go to the door, there's that interaction there. I usually pat him on the head. You know, it's okay, I say. So these dogs are carrying on. Somebody's walking by. The other week I was getting ready to mow my lawn. I took the lawnmower out and I'm cleaning it, making some noises, and that German Shepherd was, wow, carrying on. I'll get to the concern in a minute. So I yelled over, calm down. Well, now the lady doesn't talk to me. In the case of a dog in a yard, the yard's enclosed, they're down the back of the yard, 50 yards away from you, and they're carrying on. The way to train that dog is to get off your ass, get up and go down to the back of your yard. Get next to the dog, touch the dog, and survey the situation. This is how you get control of the situation. You interact with the dog, you touch the dog, okay? They know if you're nervous or upset. And if you are, they get it. They get it. But if somebody's just walking by, you're not going to be upset, nervous, worried, anxious. I should say in most cases. And the dog senses that. You touch the dog's sensing it, and the dog calms down. But they're not doing it. These dogs are at the end of the yard carrying on. If I'm going to cut my grass or somebody walks by, they're carrying on. Come on, Spot. Come on, come here. And it's not just me. So there are two gentlemen that walk around town every day for exercise. And one carries one of those self-defense wands. If you whip it out, then it comes out. And the other one carries a small slugger bat that's modified, and I'll leave it at that. And I engaged them in a conversation one day why they're doing that, and I had a good idea already. They said these dogs, they're untrained or unsupervised. Now we're talking about aggressive, and I don't know why, maybe through inbreeding, aggressive golden retrievers and a German Shepherd. And they said one of these days those dogs are going to jump over the fence after me. It's inevitable. There's two other golden retrievers a half a block away. When they're in their yard and you walk by, wow. Wow. It's scary, actually. I said to them, I get it. These people are leaving the decision up to the dog. They're not interacting with the dog. Something happened, something's different. They've alerted you, and you're not interacting with the dog. And when you don't interact with the dog, that dog, they don't think like humans. It's not going to say to themselves, okay, I need to address this situation the way I know how. And that's what happens. Their instinct kicks in. Their nature to defend their property, to defend themselves, and to defend their masters, so to speak. And one day, what's going to happen is what those two men carry those defensive weapons for. These untrained dogs, their instincts are going to kick in, their nature is going to kick in. They're going to jump over the fence and attack somebody, maybe a little kid. Ace has always been a good boy until he was attacked. He was attacked twice. Right, I'm telling you that a pit bull was attacked. 2 years ago, I'm walking through an alley on the other side of town, and next thing you know, this golden retriever comes out and attacks him, right? Comes out of a fenced yard, the gate was open. He's on a leash. I should have just let him go, but I know how his instincts are, and I'll tell you in the next story. So that happened, right? A couple months later, I was at the other side of the grove where I used to be. I was chopping wood, and I could kind of see out of my eye, he was looking at something sternly. You know, his undivided attention was on something. And I had him on a cloth leash that was tied to a tree. Next thing I know, I hear a couple of dogs barking. He takes off, breaks that cloth leash. I look up, there's 3 unleashed dogs and 2 people, right? I see those 3 dogs coming toward us. And I know what's going through Ace's mind, because let me go back a bit and give you an example. I'll come out of my house, go around the porch. I don't even do that anymore. I frickin' get in my van and come down here to avoid all this nonsense, okay? So I get out of my house, I go down the side, I look down, okay, no dogs out. I'm halfway down my yard. Somebody opens the door, I hear it. The dogs come running out, screaming, carrying on. Ace makes eye contact with them. He doesn't think like a human being thinks. He sees two dogs running, barking, carrying on, growling, looking at him. Instincts are going to kick in, right? So then I have to admonish him for behavior that is just his nature. Somebody said to me, you should train that dog. My dog is trained. But I don't get into these useless debates, because when you're talking to somebody about their dog and you say something they don't like, they get offended. But that happens there. So back to this story, when I was up there at the other part of the grove, Ace takes off. I see these three dogs coming toward us carrying on. He goes to the biggest one, which was a Labrador, and snaps at it, at its snout, its nose. That one backs off while the other two dogs are attacking him. A medium-sized terrier. He snaps at that one, its snout. That one backs off. While that's happening, the little one has its mouth attached to his leg. So the other two back off. He picks the little one up in his mouth and stands there in front of the two owners, and he's just holding it there in his mouth. He didn't attack them. He didn't viciously attack these dogs. And then the last one that was biting his ankle, hence the name ankle biters, he just picked it up in his mouth and just stood there holding it. That dog should be euthanized. That's a problem in the world with these dogs. So I got a vet bill over $1,000 for the 3 dogs. Probably overrated. He wasn't vicious. So a couple days later, I went to meet the man, the owner, because that day I said, you know what, this never happened before. Maybe it's time to do something. Hint, I would put him down. But things calmed down. I talked to longtime dog owners about what happened. Oh yeah, they threatened to call the game warden too if I didn't pay the bill. And you can put down in the comments whatever you want. This was my experience. I handle it in a mature way. He's up to date on all his shots, but he didn't have his license. They ran out of licenses. That's why I didn't pursue this. Because I know how this goes. You pursue it against 3 dogs that try to attack him, and then nothing happens to them and you get arrested, right? So I'm paying the owner, the guy, and he says, you know, I think you're going to put that dog, don't do it. We talked to our vet. We told our vet what happened. He's barking at 2 squirrels running up a tree. We told our vet what happened. She asked us if he attacked them, and we told her the truth, no. He didn't viciously attack the other dogs. He did it by the book, if you could think of Dog Sense book. He went after the biggest one, nipped its snout, its snoot, went after the next biggest one, nipped its snout, its snoot, and then picked up the little one in his mouth. And the guy said, you know, the dog just did what's his instinct. And the vet said, that's a good dog. And he is. He's a good boy. But let's get to the point. Now, he doesn't like other dogs because of these experiences. So I try to avoid other dogs. Another quick story, speaking of avoiding other dogs. I used to go across in the front of my house to walk them to do number one. If I see another dog coming, and people parade their dogs around town, and if you're watching this, you don't always pick up their poop. It's on video. So I go out of my house, I'm across the street with my dog. To the left of me is an intersection, the street goes up. I see this guy walking two little dogs, and I'm like, okay, come on, Ace. I take him behind a van. It's kind of like dusk. He doesn't see them, and we're standing there behind the van. So I thought the guy would be reasonable, turn up the street and just not go by us, but he came by us. I had my back turned, and I had Ace in a way that his back was turned. Well, those two dogs started carrying on. Ace pulled me to the back of the van, and these dogs were trying to pull their master toward us because they saw, I guess, Ace's legs. So I'm calming Ace down, and the guy's standing there laughing. He thought it was funny. Why do you even get a dog? Why? All right, let's say the reason you got the dog was stupid. Oh, let's get a dog for birthday. Oh, let's get a dog for Christmas. All right, well, maybe it's not stupid. But if you have a dog, train it. Be aware how dogs act and react. But train your dog, okay? Make it an amazing day. Make it. It's your decision. It's your choice what kind of day you're going to have. And make it an amazing life. It's your choice, it's your decision what kind of life you're going to have. So have a good one. See you in the next video.